Okay, this is going to be the lesson on how to perform a factorial ANOVA using SPSS or PASW. Specifically, this is going to be on a 2 by 2 factorial ANOVA, but the rules would apply for any between subjects factorial ANOVA. Within ANOVAs or mixed model ANOVAs will be talked about in another lecture, but this is for a 2 by 2 between subjects, but again, this would be fine for a 3 by 2 or a 4 by 2, and is even fine for larger ANOVAs, such as a 2 by 2 by 2 or a 2 by 3 by 2 or something like that. And ANOVA, we're going to use a factorial ANOVA when we have two independent variables that are both between factors. So in other words, members of one group are not members of another group. In this case, we have two independent variables, one titled rejection condition and one titled reconnection. In this study, we're imagining a situation where individuals are either included or excluded during an interaction with individuals. So they're playing a game with some people, and they're either asked to leave, we don't want you in the group anymore, the rejection condition, or they play the game and have a reasonably good time. Following that, they are told they're going to interact with another person, and they can allocate a certain amount of hot sauce to that person as an aggression measure. And they're either told that that person is really excited to meet the individual, they're really open, they're looking to meet new people, or they're told they're kind of a loner, they have lots of friends, they don't want to meet anyone. That's our reconnection or reaffiliation ability or possibility. In fact, if we go here, we can see that under rejection, a -1 is rejected, a 1 is included, and for reconnection, a -1 means no possibility for reconnection, a 1 is there is a possibility for reconnection. So our hypothesis is that that although included individuals probably should not allocate hot sauce to people, regardless of whether or not they're available for affiliation, that rejected people also will not allocate hot sauce to someone, especially if they know the person doesn't like it. Hot sauce would be really kind of disgusting if you don't like it. But this will only be true if the person is available for reaffiliation. If the person has enough friends, I don't really need another friend, then a rejected person might actually allocate quite a bit of hot sauce to them. So in order to do this analysis, we're going to go up to Analyze, we're going to go to General Linear Model, and we're going to go to Univariate Analysis. And this is going to bring up the following window. We're going to do a couple things here. We're going to put the allocation of hot sauce as the dependent variable, because that's effectively what we're measuring. And then we're going to take both of the independent variables, and we're going to put them in fixed factor. We're going to put them in fixed factor. Random factors is almost never used. Covariates is used occasionally, though nothing we're going to do for this class. We'll do a separate lecture on covariates, and WLS weight is also almost never used. So if we ran the analysis right now, we'd actually get some information, but we're not done. The next thing I think we should do is click on Options, and we're going to bring over all of these means. These are the marginal means and the cell means, so this will let us know if we have main effects and what our interaction means are. We'll also bring over our descriptive statistics, and we'll even click on estimates of effect size. This will let us know how big the effect is. We'll next go to plots, and we will, we can choose what factors we want in our horizontal axis and our separate lines. We can actually do both. We'll put rejection condition in the horizontal and reconnection in the separate, and we'll hit add, or we can do it the other way around. We'll hit continue, and then we're going to hit OK. Now, for really advanced users, you might actually want to be able to do these tests to compare these different groups. These are called simple effect analyses. Simple effect analyses are post hoc tests, sort of like the Fisher's LSD test or the the Tukey's test, but they are done only when you have a significant interaction. Doing these requires a little bit of code writing, so this is really only for the more advanced users. If we go back to our data, we can go back to Analyze, General Linear Model, and Univariate. And we'll leave everything we've done the same, but now we're going to hit Paste. Paste is going to bring up the following screen. what this screen is it's actually the code that is that you've told it to do. By hitting all those buttons, you've come up with the following code. It's saying you want estimated marginal means for overall, for rejection, reconnection, the interaction. It wants our descriptive statistics as well as the eta squared. These are all things we've actually asked for. What we're going to do is below criteria, the alpha, we're going to make 2 spots, and we're going to pull up, I don't remember this code. This is something I keep in a file. We're going to pull up the following code. And all we're going to do is we're going to paste it in. Now, this code is right now kind of a stand-in. It says IV1, IV2. We need to change IV1 to match the name of our first independent variable, which in this case is rejection condition. And then IV2 is reconnection. We can copy that down here, and we can copy part of it over here, and then the other part. So essentially, what we're doing is we want to know, looking at rejection condition, do people differ based on reconnection? Or looking at reconnection, do people differ based on whether or not they've been rejected or not? If we run the analysis, we will get exactly the same analysis we got before. It's going to look exactly the same. We still have 6.725, 021, significant values are the same. But when we get down to point number 5, we're going to be now making what is called the simple effect comparison. This is when there is no possibility for reconnection. When there is no possibility for reconnection, do included and rejected individuals differ? And if we look, significantly, it's not quite there. It's marginal. When there is a possibility for reconnection, do included and rejected people differ? No, 0.1 isn't nothing, but it's not significant. When we go down to 6, this is now looking at among included individuals, for just included individuals, when there is no possibility for reconnection versus when there is a possibility for reconnection, do those groups differ? That's 0.312. They do not. They are the exact same, basically. But among rejected individuals, when there's no possibility for reconnection versus there is a possibility for reconnection, do they differ? And the answer is they do. If we go to our graphs, what that means is that among this condition here, these groups differ, but these groups do not. And this group is marginally different, but not really there, and this group really doesn't differ at all. That is how you conduct a simple effect analysis.